The thing about being single is you should cherish it. Because in a week or a lifetime of being alone, you may only get one moment. One moment when you're not tied up in a relationship with anyone. A parent, a pet, a sibling, a friend. One moment when you stand on your own. Really, truly single.
Hi guys, it has been a while since I posted a vlog. A lot of things happened. I am now living in a new apartment, but before I talk about that, that will be a separate vlog. For this vlog, I will be sharing my post Valentine's date. It's post because on the actual date, February the 14th, I got sick and I was stuck at home for days. In this vlog, I will be talking about two main things. One is how to go on a date with yourself, and two, how to enjoy art in a museum. So I hope you enjoy. Like and subscribe. Now let's answer question number one. How do you go on a date with yourself? I know that sounds boring and scary because you might be thinking, what am I going to do alone? Where am I gonna go? What if people look at me when I'm eating in a restaurant alone? What am I going to say to a barista? What if I stutter and no one is there to save me? And all of these are valid concerns. However, let me tell you guys, once you overcome this fear, you will have the best time of your life because going on a solo date is fun. And I can assure you that I've been doing that for years. One thing to remember when you date yourself is there are no rigid rules. You can do whatever you want, which makes it great. As for me, I try to remember or try to do three main things. Number one is to make a plan. That is how you overcome your fear, because if you have a plan, you avoid getting lost and you avoid overspending. So you have a certain budget. And number two, trust yourself. Just to impress. You don't need a date to impress or other people. I think you already know this, but if you dress good, you feel good inside, and it applies for me. I like dressing up. I like wearing dresses when I go out, even if when I'm alone. I like putting on a bit of makeup. I don't know how to put on like real makeup, so yeah. And number 3, go. Do something that makes you happy. It's me again, and I know you're getting tired of my face, but please stay because we will be answering the second question, which is, how do you enjoy art in a museum? I know for a fact that a lot of people find museums intimidating because it seems like a place where only rich snobs go. However, that is entirely false because most museums are free and accessible. Now, you might be thinking, so what if museums are free? What am I gonna do there? Walk around and just watch artworks? Yes, exactly. That is what you do in a museum. You walk around and enjoy each art piece. And yeah, it sounds boring, but if you use the museum resources up to your advantage, you will be able to enjoy the experience more. How? By using audio guides. Once you're inside the museum, you can go to the site and check if they have audio guides so that you can enjoy the experience more. And if you have your headphones, I swear guys, you should try it. Go to the exhibit, put on your headphones and listen to the audio guide as you walk along the exhibit. Since it's hard to go on museums nowadays if you live in a country with a lockdown, I want to share to you how it feels like to walk around a museum with a guide, with a curator's guide, the voice of the curator and the artist explaining to you what the artwork is all about. So I went to the site, I got a few bits of the sound clips. So disclaimer, the audio is not mine, however the footage is. So I just want to show to you what it feels like to go on a museum, understanding what the work means and appreciating it. So I will be showing you 2 exhibits. The first one is Anywhere But Here, and the second one is Lynde's Moon in a Dewdrop. Hope you enjoy it. Like and subscribe.
Anywhere But Here responds to the global upheaval of the coronavirus outbreak and draws from the MCA's collection of works by artists who've participated in Primavera, the MCA's annual exhibition of young Australian artists. It considers contemporary art as an alternative access point to re-engage with pre-existing issues that are largely the product of globalisation and the instability of capitalist economies. These include housing inequality, the privatisation of public space, increased rates of mental illness, mass unemployment and precarity. The first work you encounter in the exhibition is Paul Knight's untitled photograph, which was originally presented in Primavera 2008. We selected this work as it really distills our experience of the current moment and the complexity of physical intimacy at this time. We now move to the space that we've been referring to as the domestic tableau. It includes work by 5 artists and is intended to recall a household scene. Matthew Griffin's sculpture Anywhere But Here forms the centrepiece of the arrangement and reflects the tedious experience of working from home in isolation. Keg de Souza's work Impossible Utopia is a huge inflatable dome constructed from hundreds of discarded umbrella skins sourced from around Sydney CBD and stitched together. The work is based on futurist Buckminster Fuller's geodesic dome and reflects upon the failings of modernist utopian architecture to meet its ambitions.
This presentation of prints is by Dion Beasley, including etchings, lithographs and screen prints, some of which he has hand-coloured. Beasley's prints document the everyday interactions between local cheeky dogs, as he calls them, around his home of Tennant Creek and surrounding Mulga Camp, Lake Nash and Canteen Creek in the Northern Territory. Beasley produces his drawings entirely from memory, recreating past confrontations with ease and humour, and he takes great care to replicate the distinct markings of each individual dog.
Hiromi Tango's work Dance was made following a larger immersive installation. The practice of rapping is central to Tango's artistic process. It closely relates to her interest in the brain and her desire to promote mental well-being. For the artist, rapping is useful in processing trauma-related memories and feelings. In this way, the work aligns with increasing concerns around mental health during the pandemic. Tango's use of the word dance in the centre of the work acts as an invitation, a call upon the viewer to experience the therapeutic effects of movement and to take part in the joy of self-expression.
The Dead Zone, from 2003, follows a man as he trips and stumbles along Castlereagh Street in Sydney CBD at dawn. The artist's use of slow motion and reversal in the edit prolongs this man's escape from an invisible pursuer, and the empty streets seem to intensify his fear. The artist refers to the space between the two opposing projections as the dead zone, and it is from this position that the viewer observes the man's struggle. It is as though he is caught in a nightmare or a loop of self-destructive thought, and in this case, he embodies the individual struggles and the collective anxiety of the current crisis.
Moon in a Dewdrop is a collection of writings by my absolutely favourite Zen philosopher, Dogen. And the symbolism of the moon is that the moon is about infinity, and the dewdrop is this very impermanent but beautiful little piece of phenomena in the world. And yet even in this dewdrop, the whole universe is contained. So Moon in a Dewdrop invokes the idea of expansive infinity, but also something that's almost subatomic, something that's so tiny and yet contains everything. In Buddhism, self and cosmos are intrinsic to each other. It's not fanciful to say that every cell in my body and in your body is composed of the entire history of the universe. Somehow it's implicit there. It's poetic, but it's actually true. Human beings live with this very curious conceit, and that is that we use the laws of nature to create these incredible things like aeroplanes and predict weather patterns and do IT, and you know, to some degree we've mastered certain laws of nature. And our conceit is that we are above nature, but we're not. We are absolutely, nature and cosmos are part of the fabric of our being. We can't separate ourselves from it. The Tyranny of Liberation and Distance is something of a cheeky play on Geoffrey Blaney's History of Australia. But what I really wanted to say or present in that is that to be a migrant or an immigrant is not an easy thing. You have to decide to travel a vast distance, and certainly in my parents' day, perhaps never to see your loved ones again, in the hope that there is a better future, and in the hope that something good will happen. So that's the tyranny of distance for me, but the liberation is also the fresh start. So my parents came from a war-ravaged China. My father left. He had to leave his wife and his 2 young sons there, and it would be almost 10 years before they came to be reunited. So the liberation is this possibility, when you come from such a conventional or seemingly conventional culture like the Chinese, the liberation is that you can remake yourself. You can shuck off all of those binding elements, those constricting elements, and remake something and make a future. So that title, The Tyranny and Liberation of Distance, is trying to combine the hardship and the potential freedoms and potentials for your life.
There was a point in the middle of the pandemic when I have noticed a lot of artists are starting to hit a wall. People began to ask, what's the point of making art when the world is about to end anyway? I myself have been thinking about it. What's the point of doing anything when in the grand scheme of things, what I'll do will not matter? And then I came to visit the museum and saw all of these works of art that was given birth in a tumultuous time. Art that reflects our current condition, art that makes us think and question, and art that comforts. I guess art still matters, and it always will. You know what I just realized? The world may be crashing into oblivion soon, but at least you die making what you love. And for artists, that is creating art. As for me, that is writing. With you as my witness, I swear to get published before my body crushes and burns, and before my soul returns to the stars. And it is my prayer that you too can get the chance to do what you love.